Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Paul, Spheric Reptiles, and what I'd like to cover with you today is the blue-eyed leucistic complex. Now, when I was looking at all of the different types of snakes out there, I'm talking about incomplete dominant, not recessive. Recessive traits are something totally different. Like you have to have 2 copies in order to get at least one expression of a visual. But with the incomplete dominance, you got to remember that if you have one, it's going to be like maybe a 50-50 chance of you getting that, like 50% per egg. And I always like to say, the statistics are always per egg. So if you have 8, it's 50% per egg. So you can actually end up with nothing, just like a flip of a coin. But when we look at the blue-eyed leucistic complex, we see a chain of snakes that just look so different. And I mean, it's just incredible at the amount of variability as you go from the other pattern morphs to the other. And the blue-eyed leucistic complex is made up of the bamboo, the head daddy, the honey, the lesser, the mocha, the mojave, the mystic, the phantom, the russo, and the special, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, that's something I actually had to rehearse before I got up here, and I almost forgot. So what I'll do today is I'll start off with the bamboo and show you that and kind of describe how you can actually tell what you're looking at, so that whenever you're looking at a snake, it's just like, that's just a snake, you know. So let me go ahead and start with that now, and I'll start with our bamboo inchy calico. Her name is actually Boo, and you can see here's Boo, our bamboo inchy calico, and you can get a good headshot right there. And I'll just start there and show you guys the dorsal pattern of her as well as the underbelly. So if you look at the bamboo snakes, so what you'll notice is that they have a completely tan or yellow head. Let me see if I can get her to show y'all that again. So her head is completely tan or yellow with some slight blushing as you move towards the neck. Of course, the eyes are always going to be that like kind of blue, like the blue-eyed leucistics, and that's one way you can also tell. But also, if you look at the dorsal pattern, you can see that it's kind of olive and it's connected. And so that's something that you don't see in any other type of pattern morph in ball pythons that I know of. So, and then as you move down the belly, you see that bamboos typically get lighter. Now, of course, this has inchy and calico in it, so it'll get extra lighter if you look at the sides here. But that would normally be like a bubbly type of alien head. So if you have a single gene bamboo, you're going to notice that the alien heads will be just bubbles. They'll be just white bubbles surrounded with some tan or a darker little olive colored alien head. And the last thing that we see in the bamboos is this almost complete white underbelly. And that carries out all the way through. So if you're going to breed a bamboo to like another animal like a yellow belly, so those 2 incomplete dominants, one of them will be expressed more than the other one. So the bamboo might actually end up canceling out the yellow belly, or the yellow belly could come through it or just be in a lighter sense, because those 2 will be interacting. And that's something that we see in ball pythons altogether, is once you start stacking incomplete dominant traits, then you get a combination which is almost like a brand new thing. So, but guys, this is the bamboo inchy. So what I'll do is I'll put her up and I'll get the lesser bongo. All right, there you go, Boo. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, so now I'm back and I pulled out our lesser, but she's a lesser bongo. And the bongo does some different things to the pattern too, but the lesser is such a dominant, incomplete dominant trait that phenotypically or visually, you'll still be able to see what we're talking about. This is our first animal that we got when we were going back into keeping snakes. So my fiance got a bearded dragon, so I was like, hey, if you get that, then I'm gonna get a snake. So that's how we got back into this and got 23 animals that we're gonna ultimately breed. But this is a lesser bongo. And let me see if I can get her head right there so you guys can see her head stamp. And I'll start with that and I'll move down through her body. So one thing you'll notice is that the entire snake of a lesser is less of a pattern, it's less color. So you're gonna find more golden browns, more tans, more olivey colored snakes, more lighter browns, And one of the key features is that if you look at their heads, you can see that it's all the way, it's a lighter color, and it still fades towards the neck, but you see that line that goes through the eye? It's almost always a bright yellow. And I mean, that's one of the things that you just really notice whenever you see a lesser. And they are common to the market. They've been around, I think, since about 2001 when I looked at Morph Market. But, you know, it's such a fascinating pattern. And if you look at the difference between the bamboo to the lesser, you see that it's like, and it's part of the same complex, but you see this puzzle pattern all along the dorsal. It's puzzled all along the dorsal. And then what you also see with the lesser is you normally see one alien head, and then they're kind of muted as they move down the sides. And it's just kind of a lesser of a pattern, almost like it's been, like it's a low dose form of calico is the way that I always think of it. So as it moves towards the belly, you can see that the belly is almost all white, just like the bamboo. So as you move down, you see that the belly is almost all white. And it's just more of those olive tones, the tans and the light browns. And the bongo, of course, does things too. But like the bongo will push the pattern up, the color more up towards the top too. So that's why if you see a combination of those, you'll get a snake like this. So this is a lesser bongo, and her name is Jess. So the other one's name was Boo, and this is Jess. And so you can see that she is actually right at about 1,100 grams. So we're trying to get her up to breeder weight this year, but we don't know if she's going to make it or not. I'm not going to rush her. If she gets there, she gets there. If she doesn't, you know, hey. But I'm going to go ahead and put her up. And this is the lesser form of the blue-eyed leucisticus. And we're moving on to the mojave. So the mojave, I think, is one of those snakes that, I mean, it's just, as a hatchling, it's just incredible. I mean, for an incomplete dominant single gene, you know, it's just incredible. If you mix pastel in, it seems like the alien heads actually glow gold or bright yellow. So what I'm going to show you today is a pastel mojave yellow belly, and it's hit for hypo, but you know, it doesn't have a visual hypo, so it doesn't express it. So it'll just look like your traditional yellow belly pastel mojave. So one of the good things about the mojave is it's highly recognizable. So this is Mo, our mojave, and if I could get her to just show you guys her head, and that's her head right there. And you can see her body, her underbelly. So one of the good things about the mojave is they're highly recognizable. And one of the things that you'll notice is out of all the different ball pythons, it's one of the few that has single keyholes. So if you look at the actual patterns from the head all the way through the body, it's going to be like a darker chocolate to almost a black color. But if you look at those keyholes, they're singular all the way around, and they're highly contrasting to the body as it moves down. And when they ball up, it looks like just a bunch of single keyholes in a circle. It's really cool. Great snake. We wish that she was a little bit oversized, but it seems like she only eats every other time, and she goes on some hunger strikes. So, you know, as with all other pets, they each grow at their own pace. But eventually she will be raised up and bred into different projects. But you can see the different colors that are on her. And she's got her tongue flicking, so she's looking around, she's being inquisitive. But you still will notice, what I really want to point out is the back. So you can see the singular stripe or broken pattern on the dorsal. And then you can still see those alien heads, which are separated. And as I move back, you can see how it changes from like a lighter color to almost black as I move away. And that's one of the things that are indicative of Mojave. And the name, just so you know, is the guy who invented this, and I forgot his name. I should have did research, right? But anyway, he's from the West Coast and near the Mojave Desert, so he just slammed the Mojave name on it, but it's perfect because it fits this snake. It fits it. And this is Mo. So Mo the Mojave, You know, hopefully she'll get to where she likes to eat a little bit more. But hey, you know, can't force her to eat. Can't force women to do nothing. You know what I'm talking about? So, hey guys, I'm going to move right along to the 2 phantom examples that we have, and so I'll put Mo back in her tub and move right along. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back again. So I keep saying it like I'm going somewhere. All right, so I'm back though. But this is a phantom cinnamon. So of course, the cinnamon gene does a lot of different things too, and that's an incomplete dominant trait. That does a lot of things differently too. And this snake is the actual snake that is here. That was part of our original, you know, marketing, so that we wanted to just kind of do something to see how we could do it. But yeah, this is that snake that used to be a really big striker. So let's see what she looks like now. And it's crazy that she's part of the blue-eyed leucistic complex. You can see right there how she looks. And this is a phantom cinnamon. And I'll just go ahead and tell you what the cinnamon does. The cinnamon breaks up the pattern along, so it's all wonky, kind of like a Wookiee. And you can just see how she looks. But typically what the phantom is they're going to be very dark, but it's going to be kind of grayed and dull towards the head with very little blushing, if any. So along the body, they're going to have that same type of, you see how it fades? You can see the fading on her body right there as it goes from dark to light. That's something that the phantoms do. And this is normally her feeding time. So she might be looking for a meal, but we're going to just see if she'll just stay settled down. But that is definitely the phantom. They're going to be more of your darker browns, your almost black colored. But you can see the difference in variability as you move from remember, the bamboo to the lesser to the mojave. And now this is a darker gene. This is like near the bottom. So, but an incredible snake all on its own. And there is no head clown in here again. And you can see almost like the keyholes are almost wiped out. But that's not part of the phantom, but the actual coloration is as it gets darker and it kind of fades out at the bottom. And that's something that I think all the blue-eyed leucistics do. That might be one thing that this incomplete dominant trait does, is they fade out as they move closer to the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and put her up, and I'm going to pull out the only male blue-eyed leucistic complex incomplete dominant snake that we have, and it'll be a phantom clown. And so I'm going to go ahead and put her back up. All right, so I want you guys to look and see what the difference is in the phantom cinnamon and this phantom clown. Now, the clown is a recessive trait, so you need a copy on the allele from the mom and one from the dad in order to get the visual. So this is a visual phantom clown. And his name is Casper. And so, while he's balled up, I'm going to show him to you like this. And you can see how it's almost like Mojave-like, but that's the clown that's working in there. So the clown is what actually makes the pattern like that, because once we straighten them out, you can actually see what the difference is in the Mojave and the phantom. So you can see that that's a clown pattern on the top. It just so happens that with the phantom, the high contrasting in the alien heads with the rest of the body is something that is very indicative. So in the last one, in the phantom cinnamon, you got to see that, but it was a lot darker. So this is more of a tan to almost like a very, very light, super light brown. And as you get closer to the dorsal, the side of it, you can see how it's white. It's like patchy in the white. And you see that a lot when you breed and you get special clowns, Russo clowns, of course, phantom clowns, mystic clowns. So that's one thing that you're going to see in the blue-eyed leucistic, is if you put clown into them to get a visual, you'll end up with those white sides. And I'm going to let you guys see his head. I know he's going right for the lens of the camera. So, we're going to have to, but you can also see how his eyes are blue. And that, again, that's part of the blue-eyed leucistic complex, and that's how you can recognize him. But this is an example of a phantom clown. When I first saw it, I couldn't tell if it was a hypo or not. So what I'm really going to do is, you knew I was going to get to this, is I want to see how Desert Ghost and hypo will mix with phantom. Will it just make it like a completely ghost-like, duller or brighter snake? I'm really curious to see. So that's what we're going to do, is try to see that. And of course, that'll take some years to actually get the actual example. But for now, we got a visual phantom clown. And this is Casper, Casper the friendly ghost. So, hey guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm going to also put a picture of what a blue-eye leucistic looks like, so that if you breed any of these blue-eye leucistic complexes to another one, you'll end up with a snake that looks like this. You can end up with a lot of different combinations, mystic to lesser, mojave to phantom, and it'll all be the same, a white snake with blue eyes. So, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to it. If you want to see something else, just let me know, and I'll do my best to try to get that video out for you. So until the next time, guys, I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later.